Hello, Latin 4. It's been a little while per your request, and so now we're finally getting to my favoriteest chapter ever in well, probably at least all of book 5. There are a few other fun chapters in book 4 that rival this one, but it's just the juiciest thing. So we're in 544, page 138 for you guys in your books. And I'm hoping that you've translated this, so get out your red pen, because here we go. In that legion, there were two very brave men, centurions, who were the type who were approaching the first ranks. In other words, they were up for promotion. Or they would be up for promotion soon. Like, everybody could see the trajectory of their career. Titus Pullo and Lucius Varenus. These men continually had continual arguments amongst themselves as to which of the two would be, or rather ought to be, preferred. And in all the years that they had, they had competed, or they were competing with each other, with each other being in parentheses, for the higher ranks, with the most with the about their ranks with the greatest simultatibus. So like rivalries. That doesn't quite clip it the right way, though. Rivalry just it there's more to it than that. Like, this is the Rock and Austin kind of thing. I've been watching a lot of wrestling. Out of these, Pulo, when it was being fought most sharply at the fortifications, so he's standing there on the ramparts, he says, what doubt is there, Varenus? Or, why do you wait, Varenus? Or, what spot is there that you are awaiting for showing off your manliness? This day will judge everything about, or I'm putting on everything in parentheses, about our arguments. And when he had said these things, he charged forth beyond the fortifications, beyond the walls, into whatever part, and he bursts into whatever part of the enemies seemed most dense. So he charges at the largest grouping of enemies. Indeed, ne quidem, nor indeed, certainly not, did Varenus hold himself back within the rampart, or within the walls, but fearing the opinion of everyone, he follows. So in other words, he doesn't want to look like he just got shown up in the bravery department. Let's see. With a small space left between the two of them, them being Pulo and the clutch of Gauls that he's attacking, Pulo hurls his javelin at the enemies, and he pierces one who is running out of the crowd. I would say probably toward him, okay, charging out of the crowd, whom once he had been struck, he being the Gaul that Pulo pierced, once he had been struck and killed, quo percusso et exanimato, they, the Gauls, the enemies, they protected him with their shields. Like, they didn't realize their friend was dead. So Pulo goes running at these guys, and one guy decides, oh, I'm gonna get some glory too, and he starts running out, and Pulo just hurls a javelin right through him. And then all his guys go and guard him. Okay, so keep your body count. So far, Pulo's killed one. The enemy, all hurl their weapons, or their lawn darts, and they do not give any chance for retreat, or any chance of retreating, to their enemy in Hostem, right? The shield of Pulo is struck through, or it's pierced all the way through, and a spear sticks in his sword belt. Okay, so imagine a sword belt, and so it pierces right above it, so that now you can't pull your sword out because the hilt of your sword is hitting that thing, and it's also pinned your shield to you, so you can't. You're stuck. Okay. This event, this chance, this occurrence, this circumstance turns his sheath aside for him and delays or halts his right hand, which was attempting to draw out his sword. So again, he's stuck, right? So his sword belt pushes sideways, so now he has to reach even deeper, and he can't pull it out because the hilt is hitting the spear, the spearhead. And the enemies surround Pulo, who has been blocked or hindered or halted. Varenus, an inimicus, a personal enemy, a rival, more than just a rival though, like someone that really wants you to do badly. To that man being Pulo, runs up to him and supports him. Runs up to that man who is struggling and supports him, right? So this is the ultimate I gotcha move. Like, he just saved Pulo, the guy who tried to call him out. Immediately, the whole mob, the whole war party, turns from Pulo toward this man. And notice that we're seeing Hik and Ile, right? Toward this man, because they think that man, Pulo, was dead, killed by a spear. Okay. Varenus carries out the battle hand to hand with his sword. So hand to hand just means close quarters. It doesn't mean fists. With his sword. And once he had killed a man, he drove off the rest of them a little bit. So now, keeping score, Pulo's killed one, Varenus has killed one. He drove off the remaining, the rest of them a little bit. And then he, Varenus, charges forward more eagerly, or he what do we want to say? Instat. He pushes his luck. And having fallen down or slipped, he falls to a small hole in the ground, a hollow. So essentially, like you step through, and then the ground's just a little bit uneven, and he turns his ankle, right? And I think that's what happened. He turned his ankle. Pulo brings help to this guy, Varenus, who is once again surrounded. Varenus is now surrounded. And both of them, after they've killed very many enemies, which we haven't seen the actual numbers, we just know that it's 1-to-1, they retreat themselves back within, and I'm saying back because it goes with Rekipunt, back within the walls with the highest praise, and I would say like of all the soldiers. Thus, fortune turned in their competition and in their rivalry, turned in such a way, or thus, that the enemy to the other, or the one's enemy was a source of help and safety for the other. Okay, so like I just got saved by my enemy, right? And it was not able to be decided which of the two of them seemed to be the most preferred, or seemed to be the best for the job in terms of, or to the other of the two in terms of bravery. So you couldn't figure out who was braver. So if you look at the story, you see that Pulo and Varenus rivals, but the one thing they both have in common is manliness, right? And it's probably to carry out Caesar's orders too. And Pulo runs out. He's going to prove his manliness, and he gets stuck after proving it. And then Varenus has to come and save him, and Varenus is going to prove his manliness. So he kills a guy, and he goes and gets stuck. And then Pulo has to save him. And I'm sure they're bickering and arguing all the way back. I think Nebula and Gamora. Gamora? Is that her name? Yeah, I think it's Gamora. The Gamorrean guards are in Star Wars, so I always have to double check. I think those two, as far as rivals go, they're rivals but on the same side, and so that's basically how it goes. Or like Falcon and Winter Soldier until they get along. So there you go. Or Kobe and Shaq. So there you go. You have the great rivals showing off by beating up on the Gauls. And as best as I can figure, they each have one confirmed kill, and then they've just kind of shared the slaughter, and everybody cheers them on. So it's a huge morale moment. So anyway, that's 544. It's my favorite story. It's visually just very, very appealing. The grammar's pretty easy, and it's just this guy goes back to this guy. So look at your uses of Heek and Ile, and you can really start to see who's farther into the story than the other guy. So who's closer to us, who are on the walls. Because in many ways, Caesar puts us on the walls watching what's happening by using Heek and Ile. Anyway, I miss you guys. I hope that worked for you, and I'm going to push the button now.